This is a Shibauro SU 1540 diesel tractor. I've got to go through it. And immediately what it needs is a starter. So this is a little 2-cylinder diesel. But I got to go through and find parts for it. I'm assuming it's a Chinese import. And we will see what happens. So the first step is going to be cleaning this thing up, just because there's so much oil and grease and everything all over it, just so we can see what all needs to be done to it. So I'm going to run the pressure washer. Much better. I can actually get in here and see what I'm working on now. So, alright, I know it needs a starter. I just gotta pull this one to determine whether it's a 9-tooth or an 11-tooth on the starter shaft. So that's what we'll start off with. Disconnect the negative battery cable. That's the first order of business. Go ahead and pull this whole air cleaner housing off because it sits right on top of the starter. Alright. You can see right here, those are your glow plugs for each cylinder. And I gotta check and make sure that he was having problems getting it started. So, just aside from the starter being out, make sure that those glow plugs are actually functioning. That's the only drawback about working on these sub-compact tractors, is there's no room to set anything. So. And you know it, that the cheapest wrench in the toolbox is the only one that'll work on this. Good old Harbor Freight. So this is what we got going on. That bushing is, I'm assuming there was a, yeah, there was a bushing or something in there at one time. And so now that shaft can just sit there and float. So we're going to have to locate a replacement starter, because it's just mechanically worn. Now the other thing I need to determine is whether it's a 9-tooth or 11-tooth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's a 9 tooth. Alright, so we got the new starter in, and then moved on to fixing other problems with it. One of which is the correct air cleaner for this tractor. We can't get. It's nowhere to be found. And so we modified the air cleaner housing in order to be able to put a standard Wix filter in here. I had to basically extend that stud, and then we'll put the cover on and screw it down, and this particular Wix filter is readily available. So here's the other thing that we did with this tractor is we added a block heater into the lower radiator hose. And again, because it's a diesel, they're really cold-blooded, very hard to start. And then it turns out that in the process of troubleshooting, we got the starter installed. Okay, and so it's fully functioning now. That was one expensive starter. The old one was completely worn out. And then the other issue that we had was the air cleaner. We had to modify the air cleaner in order to be able to put a standard filter in it, because the one that came stock we can't get, and it's not available on this for this Japanese tractor. But then we also that required that we had to modify the hood in order to be able to close the hood, to get it down there. And then the other thing that we discovered in the process of troubleshooting all of this is that the alternator is not working. And again, because this is a Shibauro, we cannot get that alternator. What I've done in the past with other tractors is I've just stuck a GM single wire alternator in there from like a 72 Chevy pickup or something, anything that has the pre-serpentine belts in them, that requires that I have to go in and modify or make a bracket for the alternator to mount to, and then rewire it, and then change out the length of the belt to fit the new pulley and the position of the alternator. In this case, it's really not worth it, because none of the rest of the electrical works on the tractor. So the only thing he needs the battery for is to start the glow plugs and to crank the starter over, and so rather than spending another $300-400 on switching out the alternator, he's just going to put a battery tender on it and continue to drive it, because you can, on the diesel, you can shut the key off once you get it started. It'll just continue to run because the electrical is not used for anything for ignition. So anyway, that's the plan at this point. We're just going to put it back together, and he's going to continue to use it, and he'll just put a battery tender on it he's got to plug in the block heater anyway. So, you know, it'll work.